Hi, I'm Antonio Mora with one of our alternate universes segments, the great divide between conservative and liberal media. That divide was a huge chasm today in print and on TV when it came to the New York Times report about leaked documents that show President Trump's businesses generated huge losses between 1985 and 1994. As you'd expect, the cable news networks jumped on the story and ran with their respective narratives. MSNBC and CNN played it big, focusing on how it was embarrassing to Trump. In segment after segment, ad nauseum, anchors seemed to compete to see who could more often say Trump lost more money than any other American. Overwhelmingly, liberal commentators called Trump a con man and joked that the emperor had no dough. On-screen headlines screamed strange accounting and massive losses. They also repeatedly called attention to how Trump used the losses to not pay income taxes for years. Good luck hearing them say that he was just doing what tax laws permitted. Would you not reduce what you pay the government by any legal means? One CNN reporter, in a 2-minute piece, twice called the report devastating. To whom? Who didn't know that Trump had lost billions and that some of his companies had filed for Chapter 11 bankruptcy? Trump himself has often told the story very publicly. And even the liberal pundits admitted Trump supporters would dismiss the revelations, although they patronizingly added that they're crazy not to care. Over on Fox News, the story got limited coverage, and much of the time spent on it was to defend Trump, attack the leaker, and criticize the media. The usual Fox and Friends fawning over Trump was taken to new levels, virtually celebrating that Trump had lost so much because only a bold businessman could do so. You can't make this stuff up. Good luck if you expected them to be fair and balanced and point out that Trump was losing an insane amount of money at the same time as he was publishing The Art of the Deal and portraying himself as crazy successful. And forget about seeing much criticism on Fox of Trump's tweet where he described his tax tactics as sport. Again, you can't blame him for using the tax laws to his advantage, but he should remember that his losses likely had negative consequences for a lot of people. And the huge deductions the losses provided meant the U.S. Treasury did not get hundreds of millions in taxes that might have been due. In print, look at the difference in the headlines. The left sensationalized. HuffPost said, mega Trump tax leak, massive losses. The New York Daily News went with a huge headline on its cover calling Trump biggest loser. And MSNBC used a quote, "It was always a scam. He was always losing money." The center mostly played it straight, although USA Today focused its headline on how Trump didn't pay income taxes for 8 years. CNBC headlined the facts, just saying that tax documents over that decade showed $1 billion in losses. Same for the Associated Press, which plainly said Trump claimed more than $1.1 billion in business losses. On the right, Town Hall, Breitbart, and the Daily Caller were in full defense mode, protecting Trump and attacking the New York Times report. As usual, the truth is somewhere in between. Trump wants you to believe the New York Times article is a, quote, fake news hit job. It isn't, but it sure isn't as fair as it should have been. It doesn't dwell on the fact that New York real estate took a major hit in the early 90s when big real estate companies went under. And the original version of the article barely mentions that many of the losses could have been non-monetary, the kind of write-offs and depreciation Trump highlighted in his tweet. That said, Trump also lost big bucks for a couple of years in the 80s when the real estate market was soaring. I'm not sure you can explain that away completely by saying it was tax shelters. Liberal media is well within its rights to call Trump shameless and a huckster for claiming he was a great deal maker at a time when he was losing money. But you also have to recognize that his unrelenting hyperbole worked, at least in the long run. If he were just a charlatan, how does Forbes say he's worth more than $3.1 billion today? Wouldn't most of us happily take 10 terrible years for that kind of long-term financial success? No doubt he's an unequaled self-promoter. I'll bet he hasn't released his more recent tax returns because they'd likely show he's not quite as rich as he has claimed. Who knows what else they might show? And given how often he obnoxiously trumpets his wealth and success, it's hard to condemn the schadenfreude of those who enjoy seeing him brought down a notch or two. But is this report going to change anyone's mind about Trump? Was this report devastating? Nah.